Well, that's another concern, that dang ledge, which has been there for what, 50 years?
You see it now.
What if somebody goes off? Now you see it with the
Now you
clay,
see it.
but what can a guy do? The thing is, like I mentioned to Kyle, you can put a guardrail up, but is it gonna be sturdy enough? And the creek is right there, so you can't do a whole lot of landscaping. But if somebody'd go off, it'd be kinda ugly. So I don't know if there's an answer, but
The post up there with life jackets on it, so they go
Go right to the creek. Grab one on the way down.
I prefer guardrail up there because that's my property right down below there and I don't wanna see anybody crashing on that.
the only thing is with a guardrail, you know, the ditch is right there. You'd have to put the guardrail on the road to make it,
Yeah.
the post
much.
solid. So it's kind of a ugly thing.
Unless you just stick some REA poles in there and put a
You can
cable
do this
through
one,
them.
You can come at an angle there too.
Oh, yeah, big.
I can get you a lot of REA poles.
Should be going slow.
All you have to do is
Should
buy
be,
some
but-
cable.
Could be.
That is the best route to go on there.
The only other problem though, Blake, would be when they wanna blade all that snow off, it's perfect, cause they can blade a lot of that off that whole hill into that ledge. Where if you put a guardrail up, it's gonna be
Well, like I
ugly,
said, if you put posts with some cable through them,
still get some of it.
you'll get most of it through.
You
Like I
gotta
said,
try
I
to
got a
make it
lot of
where when
REA
it snows,
poles.
you got
Yeah,
a box in the
you want-
guardrail there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Something to look into,
What's that?
so you can look into it and see what.
See what it costs for guardrail, that's just for now.
Thanks.
I think you can go up on the edge of the road here. You know,
Well, even on that
leave
side,
it
that's getting harder, right?
was that,
No, you didn't have to do it with that.
one rail, right?
is that 20 feet
Just like
gonna,
Ian, like down there on the river,
Yeah.
just put that one rail in there.
Kyle, is that 20 feet or whatever that you had to tear out, is that gonna be weak though? As far
It
as
shouldn't
you
be,
can tap.
because that's some of that clay from B and I, and that shit set up. I mean,
Okay.
Like I said, I think just get
I
some
think it would be
REA
okay
poles and,
by the time you
drill a
get
hole
time to
through
do
it, put a
it,
cable
that's,
Well, that's the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
how busy.
you know,
That would be the reasonable route to go and not that expensive.
like I said, I'll give
Put
you,
posts in and cable.
right through it, I'll give you all the REA poles you want.
That's it.
'Cause I got a bunch of short ones out there. They're not that short, but
Yeah,
you just gotta drill them, you just gotta drill a hole and put them in.
but I'm just wondering, legal wise, how big you can go.
Well, check it out and see.
Because you don't see, you know.
Run into breakaway strings.
Right, well, that's what I mean.
Back strings, and then you run into DOT issues.
Right,
then.
so you DOT and all them.
You run into
Yeah,
engineering.
yeah. You can't just do
Something
what you
that
want.
needs to be
It'd be nice to,
engineered.
but I don't think you dare.
Would Jim have the specs on that, the engineer?
He should have.
Should have.
Or he can find them anyway, if nothing else. Can talk to him. See what he says, yeah.
Check that out, Kyle.
Yeah, like you said, just
Somebody-
adding.
somebody will go off there.
Well, like I said, check and find out.
I'm pretty sure you
Should get called on that the first day it was up.
That's not bad. Oh, good.
Was that, did that bridge have side rails on it?
That one? That
Wasn't a bridge.
That was a cap-
Culvert, it
just a
Cattle
cattle
racing.
it didn't have nothing on the side, so,
No, there was nothing there.
so you could go off that and run into the bank on the other side.
Oh,
Boom.
yeah, you'd be straight down. It was straight down.
Yeah, straight down.
You never noticed it, cause all the trees and grass,
Never saw it.
now that it was dug up.
That's the thing. That was wide open so everybody could see
So I
it.
don't have a chance to. Okay. Jaden's budget,
Where do you wanna start?
auditor.
Where you at?
Auditor, I guess. We'll start with Hayes. It's like fourth in.
You know, next time you do this, maybe alphabetical order.
I do it by fund number, actually, but the numbers aren't actually on here.
Right.
They're on the top of the
Right.
sheets.
I'm not.
Cause when I put them in the computer, I have to do it by fund number, not alphabetical order, so.
Okay,
God, you took the lead on that.
nothing major on the auditor side. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay,
Which
does
one
anybody
is it?
else have questions on that one?
What's next one?
Oh, let's see.
The auditor. elections.
Shouldn't be anything significant for elections, because next year is not an election year, so it dropped down to next to nothing.
Okay, that helps. Okay. Building and grounds.
I only increased security just by 1,000, just in case we would get those little door fobby things and whatever else we may need for security, but I don't imagine that we're gonna need anything, so. Utilities stayed the same. Don't imagine we're gonna have a significant increase unless somebody wants to stay in here with all the lights on and all the other things 24 hours a day for like 365 days a year. Printer, we kept the same, and that's with telephone, office supplies, etc. No, I mean,
How are you coming on the telephone system?
they'll be coming, at the end of this month now. They had a scheduling issue, so they will be coming at the end of this month to
Okay.
set them up, so. When we get them, I'll let you know for sure how we're
And
doing with them.
you did ask them about the fellows they had at Mercer.
I didn't ask Mercer County, but I will be asking
really?
them. I didn't ask WRT, no, but, yeah, when they come and try.
Mercer comes to all their almost better.
Right. Publishing I increased by 500, but it's just because of all the excessive notices that we've been having to put in for everything, so. Computer, I decreased the equipment maintenance agreement because when I looked at how much we actually spent on it, it didn't seem to me to be that high. Should something change, we can always amend the budget to increase it, but I don't foresee there needing to be any sort of increase to that. Postage, decreased it a little bit, but if postage continues to go up, we may have to look at that again.
It's going up in July, right? 73 cents.
Yeah,
something like that.
Guys,
Oh, it went up
please
because-
be excused from the rest of the.
This year because of the election,
No, election postage stays separate from our regular postage because we have to account for that with, expenses to Secretary of State's office, not that it matters for anything, but they like to keep track of how much elections cost us. Retirement increased significantly because there is going to be an increase to retirement. I don't know if it'll be for sure at that 105,000, but because of what PERS is doing, we do need to account for a significant increase with retirement.
That's quite a bit, huh?
Yeah. Hoping that's on the high side and it's not that high, but we do need to be cautious of that because of their increases. Not to mention, any employees that start new, their plan contribution is different than previous employed individuals, so that's why it's a lot higher. Audit fees, exam fees, that next one, they will be coming in 2025, so we did have to increase that one. I put it at 16,000 because they did go up from what they have been charging us, and I just wanted to make sure that we had enough to cover that cost, and that should be about it, unless they call and say, hey, we're increasing it to a lot more, but I don't think we will. Dues for organization, that's always been on the higher level of projection because of the chances that organizations would increase their dues mid-year. And I believe the recorders increased their dues amount, so we did just get an email on that too, it was to 500, I think, is what it was, or something. I'd have to
Yes,
look. But it
with
was
that
increased for
including,
them.
and that includes one registration for the conference.
Okay, yeah, cause I think the auditors were talking about increasing their dues too, for whatever reason, cause it's been only 200 for the last 12 years, so. Office furniture has been that way, unless we need to buy anything. General miscellaneous, that would be FICA and workman's comp, you know, pretty much the same. You have to account for a little bit of an increase with those three on the top there, just because of salaries potentially increasing,
Gene,
yes, sir.
with respect to unemployment compensation, How does that work if somebody actually gets unemployment? Is that fully covered by insurance, or is the employer required to cover part of those?
I'd have to ask Linda, cause I don't know that we've ever had that situation, at least not while I've been here.
Yeah, I'd
We
like
have
to know,
previously,
I'd like
but
to know that. I'll
we
ask Linda.
budget high on this one in case we do have somebody that goes on unemployment.
I'll ask Linda.
Yeah,
Do
she,
the temps, do unemployment, do the, so you could use one there.
yeah, we could look on that one.
You know, unemployment is calculated based upon, I'm sure you know this, it's based upon the number of hours you put in on a quarterly basis, yeah. And the number of quarters.
Number four, yeah. Never draw it.
One time for me.
Oh, I guess I did too. When I first got out of the service.
One time.
For a month.
One time was enough.
Coroner, that typically doesn't change. I did find that we'll have to renew the agreement or, discuss the agreement next year is when it's expiring for the coroner. Cause it's like must be a 5-year agreement that we have with Caspari. I think he got called out recently.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We
DES,
visit quite regularly.
okay, that's good to know. I think I've met him once.
DES the next one?
Yeah, DES would be the next one. That one, we have at 30,000 because that's what they gave us as a number last year, and we have not heard if that's gonna change, so. We just kept it at that, and like I said, if we need to amend our budget to change that, we do have that option. Property insurance, we kept the same, I believe Linda called TJ, and that should not have to change. Radio,
Radio,
huh?
I haven't looked at it yet, but
Oh,
it's definitely gonna change.
okay,
Cause, last meeting I went to in Mercer County, the only ones left now, every county to order is Sheriff's Department,
okay,
and they've only got one.
okay,
And this new system is very expensive, so
okay,
this
so
won't
we'll
cover,
need to
this won't
increase
cover
it
it.
significantly.
This one didn't
I
cover
don't know if
it.
on there that will increase, okay.
So, I wonder if that's something that we can use ARPA dollars for as well.
And I believe we can, I think we talked about that too. But still, I mean,
Okay.
just so you know. that.
Yep, that's good to know. Health insurance, we shouldn't see much of an increase. They'll change it probably mid-July next year. PERS will do their bidding out, but this is on the high end anyways. This is accounting for if every single person that we have employed takes health insurance, which is not the case. So we when I talked through it with Linda, we're just keeping it on the higher end so that in the event we do have to sign somebody up, we have the budget to cover it.
How many full-time and part-time employees total does the county employ?
Why are you asking me questions?
Cause you harassed the hell out of me earlier in the meeting.
I'd have to look and find that information.
I guess I can wait.
Okay, good, because I don't have it right in front of me. I'm glad you can wait.
I would wait, but.
I take the answer right now. Should I step on her throat right now?
Okay, health insurance, we're gonna pass that, okay.
Yes. County clerk board, they're requesting the same amount, that's just, if they give a donation. Monroe County and zoning levy. Fair board, that's the same kind of every year, they ask for roughly what we get in mill amount, so we budgeted 17,000. Or requested, I guess. Economic development, same amount as usual, $2,500. I don't know that, I don't really know what they use that one for. Just kinda depends, I think.
I wonder if that's almost like something where if a new business came into town or
Promotes,
whatever.
promotes
yeah.
business.
Yeah. Flip back a few to historical society. The max they're allowed to levy is 0.25 mils, and so the 6,500 will probably always be about that amount. And then they of course get anything above and beyond because of the wind turbines and the utility bill that comes in because of the assessed amounts from the state, so it's like the in lieu of taxes situation. Senior County Council on Aging is requesting the same amount in mills as they did last year. I don't have ambulance in here because Lauren said they were still needing to finalize their requested amount, so that one will be coming, but it should be about the same amount as last year as well. E911, we're at 70,000, and that is another one where we haven't heard from Mercer County yet, so I don't really know what they wanna do.
Rumor had it when I was up in some of the meetings, it wasn't gonna change much, but they
Okay.
wanted to see what her wages would be.
Okay,
How that was gonna affect it,
Yeah.
that was the big.
cause I know when Terry took it over, he said, well, we'll just do a flat dollar amount, but then when Carmen had it, it was based on what she actually worked and did, and so, yeah, this is a potential change here. Capital projects, Dave requested we increase the detention care to 30,000, just because of the increase in inmates apparently. And then maintenance,
They're
because
just
we're,
staying longer.
huh?
Just staying.
Well, that too, I guess, but, and then maintenance, because we did discover that we can use capital project monies for building maintenance, so that one, we just needed that, 'cause that's kind of a nice little, what we need, and technically, I believe we can increase that levy for capital projects to also cover something with roads. I was talking to somebody at NGO too, but, veteran services, 16.5. So that bottom number is not right, it's just 16.5. Soil conservation, same as previous years, $50,000. And of course, they do the whole levy thing, so they'll get above and beyond that anyways, as shown in the expenses from last year. And then water management is the last one, and they're asking for the same amount, cause that's what they're levying, so. That should be it.
Was the fire department one,
No, that one's not on there. We talked about that last year where it's kind of a different, ambulance is different too. Technically, we levy for them, but we don't budget for them because it's not like a,
okay.
it's like an in and out thing. So we levy taxes for them. We don't actually technically a lot of these at the end here, like soil conservation, water management, we really don't need to have a budget sheet per se, because what they request in levies is what I have to levy for them. So, it's not you guys get to decide whether or not we give them $10,000 or not. Fair board, yes, because they don't actually levy anything, so we include that in the budget, because I'm guessing there's some agreement where the county
Cause
pays.
I know there was I got a lot of questions on
Yeah,
some of the
yep.
paperwork that
Yep.
came along with it this time.
Yeah, and that's a legislative century code, they're required to give me their budget, and so that I tried to find the easiest sample from what other counties gave me, cause some of them had like 6-page
I was gonna say,
documents and
there
stuff.
was, I heard.
And it was a lot, and
Heard
this
there was
one was
numerous.
just a 1-page thing, and